Alrighty, good evening, everybody. I think this is one of the, if not the first, one of the first times I have ever decided to go live this late at night. I can't sleep, and my husband's playing video games, and I was just playing some games on my phone, and I figured, why not just come and chat with you guys? I might play in some makeup even though it's late at night, just because I'm kind of feeling like doing something with my hands, but I don't know for sure. I'm gonna pop the chat out so I can see. Hey Jean, how are you? Hey April. I don't have any topic planned. Hey Maria. Literally, I just figured we could go live. We could talk about whatever you guys wanted to. And I am probably just going to play in some makeup and chat about whatever. Hey, Dottie, how are you? I hope everybody has had a good Saturday. If it's still Saturday where you are. It's pretty late here. It's almost 9:15 where I'm at. Hey, Angie, how are you? So I would imagine I'm probably not going to go to sleep tonight until relatively late because I stayed up late yesterday. So hopefully I don't stay up as late as I did the other day. Hey, Llama Girl. Hey, Tutu Queen. Hey, Kiki Ray. Thank God. Hey, Captain T. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Louise. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Sunny D. I'm honestly kind of surprised there's this many people up this late. I'm usually not in bed by this time, but around 9 o'clock is usually when we start to like wind down and get ready for bed and like go lay in bed and watch some TV and just like relax. I don't think I've ever come live this late before. I know I've done late like nighttime lives, but never this late. So I'm surprised this many people are still up. I'm in Mountain Standard Time and it's 9:12 here. So I don't know what kind of, I might try to do something like, it's 4:11 where you're at. That was me the other night. I went to bed at our normal time, which to actually like go to bed is around 11:30. And I just couldn't sleep. And I ended up staying up until like 5 o'clock in the morning. And then I did finally fall asleep and I got like 3 hours of sleep. So I don't know what's going on there. That was kind of my sleeping issue for a while, and I've kind of rectified that in the last couple of weeks, but hopefully that pattern's not coming back. We'll see. It's also Saturday, so, you know, it's 11:12 where you're at. 11. Yeah, I mean, it's evening time for almost everybody. So, is there anything that you guys want to talk about? Any kind of topics you guys want to talk about? You guys know by now I can pretty much just ramble on about whatever. If you guys can hear the cars going by, I don't know why they're revving their engine this late at night, but you know, it happens. It's Sunday, 12:43 where you are. This one is a Real Techniques brush. I don't know which one it is. I've had it for a while. This is the one that I use for concealer. Until I get older, sleeping's a real issue. Yeah. You're never in bed before 2 a.m. anymore with insomnia. I feel like I don't necessarily want to say I have insomnia, but I go through phases for sure where it's hard for me to sleep no matter what I do. And I've always kind of been somewhat of, I don't want to say a night owl, because I can be a morning person too. It really just depends on how I've got my schedule going. But I've always preferred to be up at night. I'm not sure what palette or colors I'm going to go with. I'm just putting makeup on to have something to do while we chat, to be honest. Unless I have something like serious that we're talking about or something planned that I have like points I want to hit, I prefer those to be like kind of sit down where I'm not doing anything. But for my not planned lives where I just decide to go live and chat with you guys, you can ask my members when I do this with them. I'm almost always doing my makeup because I'm a fidgeter. It's part of, it's just part of my personality that I have to be doing something. So doing my makeup and chatting with you guys is pretty easy to me. And it's almost relaxing for me to be like doing something with my hands and then also engaging with you guys. It's just kind of easy for me. I don't mind to put makeup on and take it right off. Could it be a waste? Yeah, but I don't do this very often, so it's not a big deal to me. I'm trying to find one of my translucent powders. I guess I'll use the Fenty Beauty. Hey, Callista Cat, how are you? You usually stay up until 3 or 4. I don't know. Hey, Claire. Hey, Miss Cassandra. Sometimes I feel like I should just be on my own kind of sleeping schedule, but then again, it doesn't benefit my husband if I get on my own sleeping schedule. So it's kind of like one of those things where I'm just constantly back and forth with if I want to keep on a schedule he has or if I want to get on my own schedule. Who knows? Right now I'm kind of teetering more being on his schedule because I help him sometimes with what he has going on if I can. You tried to do makeup or eye looks daily just to try to get through product. That's something I should do. However, I have the kind of personality that if I don't want to do makeup, I'm just not going to do it. If I force myself to do something when I really don't want to, I will start to resent it a little bit and not be as interested. So I typically only do makeup when I want to. I'm not going to put primer or anything like that on my skin. I saw that llama that Katie said she had COVID in 2020. I saw people tweeting about it, and it might have been you even. I saw some people tweeting about it. I haven't gone down that path. Since I did my advocacy video and like pulling clips for that the last few weeks, to be honest with you guys, I'm just burnt out. I'm burnt out with Katie. Like, she's not interesting to me. I wanted to make that advocacy video, and I was even thinking about making a video similar to that to you, like help educate around adoption and kind of things that she has said. But at this point, I don't know if I'm going to do that. I know a lot of you guys like my coverage of her, and that's how a lot of you guys have found me, and I appreciate you guys all so much. But I am really just burnt out with her. She's clearly not going to change. She has no intentions of changing, and it just burns me out. And I have so many other topics that have come up recently that really have caught my attention that I want to talk about. So I'm probably going to not make hardly any Katie content. If I see stuff and I go live, like you guys know, if you guys bring it up, I'll talk about it. But as far as like me going out of, and I don't want to say it that way. I don't want to say like going out of my way, but me like focusing on trying to like think of content or focusing on her content to want to talk about her. I'm kind of out of that at this point. I hope that doesn't disappoint too many of you guys, but I mean, Frank, she's not going to change. And I've made almost every criticism I can. And yeah, I was arguing with myself there for a little while that I could continue to make videos like the one I did about advocacy in communities that people have come to me and that even I'm a part of, like the adoption community, and utilize it in the same way I did the advocacy video, where I actually like bring forth legitimacy of what it looks like and what it is and what Katie claims. But to what end? You know, when there's other topics out there, there's this little taste stuff that I haven't started to really get into, but I'm interested in it. It seems that it could go it's 50-50 from what I have seen. I haven't really gone into it full-fledged. And then there's this TikToker who has like come over to YouTube, who is extremely, I couldn't say enough, extremely problematic. So I kind of want to go into those, and I have other stuff that I've had on a list for a long time that I've put off. And I'm kind of just like, if people end up not staying because I don't talk about somebody who burns me out, and at the end of the day, in my personal opinion, I don't think Katie's the best person, and I don't think she's going to change anytime soon. Clearly, she likes who she is, and she likes how she conducts her YouTube channel, and that's on her. I'm not going to end up burning myself out of wanting to be a creator because I'm discussing somebody who is putting me into burnout. So I've been at that crossroads for a little while now, and I'm kind of just at the point where I understand some people are probably not going to stick around because they want me to talk about her. And if I know what's going on and I go live, I'll talk about my opinion on it, but I'm not going to probably be making much of any content, any videos related to her moving forward. And that's just the truth. All right. You watched a video today about narcissistic relationships. I'm sure that was an interesting video. Anything about narcissism, if you actually if you watch it, or you like go down any kind of rabbit hole about what it is and what it looks like in real life, not what people assume it is, it's a very interesting personality trait to have. Katie burns you out too. I think Katie burns out a lot of people, but it's like a lot of creators have said this. It's the dumpster fire that people don't want to look away from, because you've invested so much, and this is kind of the crossroads I've been at. I've invested so much time into like trying to hold her accountable, and I've acknowledged that she lacks the self-awareness. So at this point, I'm going to end up putting myself into burnout by trying to make sure she holds herself accountable and has that self-awareness. And I've been aware this whole time it's probably not going to happen. And I don't want to waste my time talking about somebody when it is my intent for positive change to come of it. If I know positive change isn't going to come of it, I'm at the point with myself, like, why talk about it? If it's something that really, really irks me, I'm not going to make the promise that if I don't find out or I don't see something and it really grinds my gears and like really gets me fired up, that I'm not going to make content about her. But I've steadily decreased, and I'm back to where I was a while ago when I first made the realization, before she like totally offended myself and a whole bunch of people. She's not worth my time. So you went to the art store today. You didn't really need to go, but you went anyway, and you spent too much money. I've been needing to go get a couple of things, and I've been intentionally putting it off because I don't need anything else. I have plenty. So too many other people cover her. Yeah, and that's kind of where I've been at. I see. That's where I've kind of been at this. I've been at this crossroads before, and then I saw something. It was the CPS stuff that really just bothered me because I know about it, and I do try to advocate for systems that I know about. So that's why I kind of got back into it, and I wasn't really I've never really followed her every move, and I haven't been, but I wanted to make that video that I did make. And I had, like I said, I had a couple of others that I was thinking of, but there's so many topics that I would prefer to cover. And I understand, like, some people want to hear about Katie and hear all perspectives of Katie, but there's plenty of other channels at this point that will continue to cover her and talk about her and discuss her behaviors. That if it's something serious and you guys want me to, I'm sure somebody would let me know and ask me if I will look into it, and then I'll consider it. Hey, Meemaw Dragon. You're pretty sure Gabby Hanna has lost her mind. She's done this before, and I put up a tweet that I wanted to go down the rabbit hole, and I might go down that rabbit hole. I've been slightly aware of Gabby Hanna and her shenanigans over the last couple of years, but I never was fully invested because I really don't like Gabby Hanna that much, to be honest with you guys. I never have. She's just too much for me. She's a little over the top. So I don't know. I've never fully invested into what she was doing in the drama she was surrounded by. But it seems that right now it's just getting so much and so overwhelming. I'm interested to go look into it in the sense of like looking from like kind of where a lot of this started to now, and not doing like a full deep dive video, but doing a brief like synopsis of like, these are the dramas she's had, this is how they started, this is my opinion of them, this is why I think they continue, that kind of video. So I might do it. It's on a list of potentials, so we'll see. Salts tweeted a few days ago that the company isn't directly. Oh, I have no idea. I haven't followed much of anything going on with her, to be honest. I haven't. Hey, Brandon, how are you? Hey, Amy. Hey, Meemaw Dragon. I don't know if I said hi. If I say hi to you twice, I'm sorry. So I have, I grabbed out 3 of the Anastasia palettes. These are my favorite palettes just to play with. I don't know if I want to go for like a, this look could very well just end up a mess. I'm kind of thinking about just doing like a really deep, which is not like me. I typically stick to some lighter eye looks, but I might play around and try and play in some black. I usually stay away from the color black. So I think I'm going to play with the Sultry palette, which if you, good thing I didn't drop it. If you haven't seen it, like this is, so the matte shades, there's not many mattes, but the ones that are here are relatively deep in color. You can send me whatever you'd like, rarely care. As far as like true crime stuff, I do have a list of cases that deal with minors dealing with like the system, like CPS and systems failing them, that people have sent me from covering the Gabriel Fernandez case at my request, because that is a portion of my content that I have left on the back burner, but I believe it's my intention to revisit that and to make that an upload. I'm trying to think ahead with all of the ideas I have going on to put forth a pretty decent upload schedule. Right now, my schedule is not a schedule. It's kind of like I talk about things and stuff like that when they kind of happen, and that's great. but I want to go back and do the research on the cases that have been sent to me and make an upload day for that kind of video, an upload day for like commentary videos, so people can kind of know what to expect on what day rather than it being a hoopla. Because I know some people don't care about my makeup videos. So if I do those occasionally and that's the only content I have go up, people aren't always interested in that and they may want something else from me. So I'm going to try and iron out a better schedule that way. I don't want to fully get into true crime. I can say that true crime is very, very much, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's very consuming. And I love to consume true crime, but I do not want to be someone who's like investigating an unsolved mystery. And I know myself that I will start to like try and go down that route, as most true crime YouTube channels do. So that worries me a little bit, getting into that kind of content. But yeah, you can send me whatever. You don't have to have my permission to send me anything that you guys see. You can always email me or DM me, whatever works for you. KJ's behavior is seen by me and lots of other people lately. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hooked on Phonics for me. See, I remembered your name this time, I think. Hooked on Phonics works for me, right? Nowadays, almost every creator has the same content. Whoever's popular drama becomes regurgitated topics. It's refreshing when you don't always follow those. It does seem lately that, a lot of people are talking about the same things. And I don't think it's intentional, to be honest with you guys. I think it ends up being like that's what people want to watch. And as creators, we kind of have the weird, I mean, this is going to be true and people might not like this, but whatever. As creators, like there's a weird line that we kind of balance that I don't know if you're not a creator, if you think about it, but there's been, I'm trying to think of, I can't think of the YouTuber's name, but sometimes creators end up creating content that initially they enjoy and they find entertaining or they enjoy to discuss it. And then as time goes on, they either don't care about what content they're creating anymore and they're only creating it because that's what people want. And I think at some point it becomes a question that the creator has to realize and answer for themselves if they're going to continue to create content they don't like, or maybe they don't even believe in anymore, or if they're going to, that's when it becomes like a money and a moral thing for me. I know that happened recently in the anti-MLM community, and I don't remember the YouTuber's name. I know Britt talked about it when it happened a few months ago, and probably other channels did too. But there was a pretty large anti-MLM channel who did not believe in the anti-MLM thought, but because that was the content that was getting her money and that people liked, she continued to do it. And then she was honest and said that she didn't believe this way, which is going to get backlash, but she was honest about it. I guess she retracted for a little while and then she came back doing the same kind of content again. I mean, that's a little bit weird. If you're going to, like, as people, yes, our minds change. Yes, your morals and your standings change, but in such a quick time frame, not likely, not when you're an adult. So it's kind of like you said something and then you got backlash and it wasn't profitable like you thought it would be. So then you're backtracking to go back to what you did before because you know that's profitable. And that's really when people's decisions of their channels for me come to if it's a business venture for you. If you're doing it to make money, you have to make those kind of decisions and you have to make those kind of calls. Just know that if you're not making one that you think the general public won't like, that if it ever is exposed or you expose yourself, you're likely to end up in controversy. I mean, that's just the reality of it. My chair won't scoot up. Hey, Beauty Demon. Hey, Sue. Hey, Susan. I have not heard of the Piketon Massacre. I've not heard of that. The poll for Monday's discussion is up. I don't know what the topic will be. I don't know the topic until before I go live on Monday. Doggy cute. Did you see KJ docs another woman on Instagram? She even called her an anti-vaxxer without knowing her. She posted names, pics, disturbing, and of course she erased it, but Reddit has the post. I haven't. I was just saying a little bit ago, I've kind of retracted from Katie's stuff. Her behavior is never going to change, to be honest with you guys. And I'm just going to be completely honest. She's never going to change unless she's held accountable. And right now, whether we like it or not, I think she was scared there for a little bit. Maybe scared isn't the right word. In my opinion, I would think she would be a little bit scared with having the lawsuit and having it so publicized. And I think that's why she was on her better behavior during that time frame. But because it got dismissed, she feels that, if somebody with millions of followers and millions of dollars can't defeat her, nobody can. So she's going to continue and do whatever she wants. It's my personal opinion. We'll see, though. Well, I probably won't see. Honestly, I'm pretty much checked out of that stuff at this point. So I'm not surprised. I don't know. I don't know why she, or any creator, especially when you have experienced being doxxed, why you would put someone else in that position. Why you would not triple, quadruple check what you're putting out there. Why would you not do that? Why would you not take the time to make sure that when you're making sure that you're not releasing your own information, even though from what I gather, she kind of did an oopsie on her own self recently, whether it was today or yesterday, I don't know. But when you sit on your platform and you complain, and rightfully so, I don't mean that in a bad way, but when you complain about being doxxed, when you try and get sympathy because you have been doxxed, why would you not be ultra careful that you weren't putting someone else in that position to feel that fear? Or unless maybe she's not actually scared and she just uses it to use it, I don't know. Only she could tell us if she was actually scared or not. I don't understand her. I understand, but I can't explain her behaviors, if that makes sense. I can't explain why someone would put someone else's safety at risk when they claim constantly that their safety has been put at risk and that it was terrifying for them and all of this other stuff, which I'm sure being doxxed is. I don't know. Ooh, sorry for everybody who came in. Hey, Natalie. Hey, Cooch. You understand, you see a lot of these T channels with the same subjects. It kind of gets hard if you're watching, if you like watching commentary content, like that is what YouTube is going to promote to you. And depending on what kind of content you are regularly consuming is going to be the content that regularly is recommended to you. So if you're constantly watching people talk about Katie Joy, then you're going to constantly have new channels and new people, or maybe people who have talked about her before but that you didn't know were creators. They're going to start popping up on your recommended now. That's just how the algorithm works. This could end up making it look like I have black eye. I really don't play with dark eyeshadow that often. So we'll see how this ends up. But you're right, like there's a lot of commentary channels who talk about the same thing. I mean, even if we take away like the Katie Joy, by no means am I throwing shade in this. This is just how YouTube works. Is there's I can't even remember what they're called at this point, but like Tipster, Nicholas Diorio, Repzilla, and a few others who all cover like the same kind of content. They just cover it slightly differently so people enjoy each of their content because they bring something a little bit different to the table. But they all kind of cover the same topics and the same stuff going on. So, I mean, it's not new. That's kind of how YouTube has always been. What's my favorite foundation? I have two Holy Grail foundations. That's the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter and the Estee Lauder Double Wear. Those are my go-tos. Hey, Leanne. You left reality TV and T channels, but you keep coming here. Hey, words have power. How are you? It being dismissed was the worst thing for her behavior. Now in her mind, she's untouchable. She's learned nothing. What I find interesting is she was on like the receiving end of this lawsuit. Let me know how you guys feel about this. She was on the receiving end of this lawsuit. Yes, it was dismissed, but for all of her critics and everybody who believed and felt that she did make opinionated statements which was my opinion on why she was probably in that position, because she was bringing out information and saying things that have been her opinion and rightfully probably were, but she was saying them as statements in relation to that family and the whole situation. What's interesting is people saw the reason for the lawsuit to be filed. Okay, Katie didn't. Of course she didn't. But what's interesting is now that this has been dismissed for the time being or whatever is going on with that, she has then turned around, even though she was fighting against somebody with millions of followers and probably a lot more money than she has. And that's just like me being observant. I'm not trying to be shady in that. She has then turned around and tried to threaten T-spiracy, which I don't know the full ins and outs of that yet. But from what I've seen and what I understand, and please correct me if I'm wrong, T-spiracy posted merch as a joke, and Katie took it as it was serious because she didn't look into it enough and threatened her with a cease and desist publicly. And I don't know if she sent one privately as well. I don't know that much about it. But what's interesting to me is you were on the receiving end. You know how bad that felt for you. You knew how hard that battle was against somebody like, I just don't understand the mentality. It's hard for me. I haven't totally thought this through clearly because my thoughts are just all over the place when I'm talking about it. But does what I'm trying to like get across make sense? Like, she was on the receiving end, and yeah, it's dismissed. So now she wants to go out and threaten and put all of her money into potentially getting in lawsuits with people over shit she doesn't even know what's going on because she doesn't care to actually look into shit. I mean, she is likely, if she doesn't learn from this, and this is my opinion, if she does not learn from the experience that she is walking out of, she is going to end up right back in that position. I don't mean that to be mean, but I honestly, like, that's how I feel, because she came into my live stream threatening me about saying I was talking about stuff I wasn't, because she didn't care to actually listen. And then the same stuff with T-Spiracy on a bigger degree, for sure. I'm not saying what happened to me is the same as what happened to T-Spiracy, but she didn't even care to look and realize that that was a freaking joke and that it wasn't legit. You're likely, if you continue to do stuff like that, people can counteract that. Like, she surely is aware of that, correct? You've been binge watching a Netflix series called 7 Seconds. I don't know if I've seen 7 Seconds. I didn't see a question from Rarely Care except for about the true crime stuff. Did I miss something? If you research kangaroos, some poor soul. The Goons, yeah, I think they go by the Goon Squad. Beauty Demon, I think you're right. Hey, Smiley Mama, good to see you. It's a very, yeah, it is. Chris Hansen named the Goon Squad, and I laughed so hard. I've kind of seen that he's kind of like murking up some stuff or trying to get involved in stuff on Twitter. I don't know. You have drier skin, so Makeup Forever HD and NARS Sheer Glow. I've tried Makeup Forever a long time ago, and it didn't work for me. I have normal to dry skin. So my skin is pretty normal. I do get dry areas, but I prefer matte foundations, which is an interesting combination. I actually have not seen True Sleuth's video. I saw it being promoted on Twitter, and I meant to go watch it, but I haven't really watched YouTube today. It's 9:43 watching. I know, it's late and I'm doing my makeup. If I missed a question, feel free to put it again. I'm not sure which question it is, and I don't want to risk going too far up in the chat. You hope there's a refile. I mean, at this point, I honestly, I don't know if it's going to do anything. Like, I know people don't want to hear that, but we really have to step back and think of the larger picture, including Tati. Like, think about how much money the Westbrooks and Halo have had to put into this lawsuit already, and how ridiculous and childish. I mean, it was entertaining, absolutely. It was, and how much money that took. So I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get refiled. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I would not be surprised if it doesn't. She did it as a joke, but it was a bit childish to do. I mean, at this point, I didn't see T-Spiracy stuff. Like, I like T-Spiracy enough to where, like, if we're in the same chat and stuff, like, we're cordial, but her and I have never talked privately or anything like that. She's been very nice, so I don't have anything bad to say about her, but I really don't watch Katie content, and I never got involved with the iJessie stuff. I never knew what was going on with that. I don't care to know what was going on with that, to be honest. So like, I'm cordial to her. I have nothing against her, but I don't follow her stuff. So I really was on the outskirts of knowing anything that was going on. So I don't have a formulated opinion on if it was childish. It could have been. I mean, we're human. We all do petty stuff occasionally. I just lost my space. I'm sorry, you can't send a cease and desist over social media. I mean, hasn't that kind of been, and I mean, this is an honest question because I've seen this before of people being critical of Katie when I first came onto like being a person who was giving criticism to her. Has she not like always sent cease and desist over social media platforms, like saying that she sent it in their DMs and stuff like that? Hey, Amy. Those threats are all part of an untouchable attitude. I mean, they very well could be. She also could be like in a state of like she got away with it, so now she's wanting to make others feel the way that she felt, which is really childish behavior, but maybe that's where it's coming from. I have not seen the movie Run. I don't believe she thinks she did anything wrong either. What's interesting about that, though, is she will sit and say, because she knows maybe she's done something wrong or said something wrong, she will sit on a live stream wherever she's doing it at, and she will say, I know I've made my mistakes. I've made my fair share of mistakes. I'm not perfect. But she's not humble enough to be able to say what those mistakes are. Does that make sense? And maybe that's me expecting too much from somebody. Maybe that's me expecting too much. But in my opinion, when you're trying to have self-awareness and convince people you have self-awareness or convince people of an apology, you're going to be able to actually identify and verbalize where you made your mistakes and how you intend on fixing those mistakes. That way people can actually try to hold you accountable. Otherwise, you're just saying words to say words and trying to convince people that you didn't mean anything bad by it, just by your words. Hey, Pippi. I think a lot of people have walked away from people covering Katie. And, you know, to be honest, I have too. I'm not going to say I got sucked back into it because I really didn't. I had always kind of thought about doing, because I've done a brief advocacy video before, and I always thought about doing one like this. So I just followed through with it since I had covered her recently. He stopped using foundation recently and only used concealer. So the reason I like to use foundation, like I've said this before, I have good genetics. I'm not trying to like make anybody feel bad about their skin, but my skin is relatively smooth. But you can see, like I have a little bit of redness. I have freckles. I don't know how much you guys can see those. So I don't mind my freckles. I don't like the redness that comes through on my skin though. So that's, even a light concealer doesn't really cover it. So that's one of the reasons I always put foundation on. Makeup number 7 from Walgreens is great from all skin types. I have not tried makeup number 7 or number 7 makeup. You asked about my Twitter post about being disappointed in creators and unfollowing. You didn't know what it was about. I asked if you could elaborate. What that was about is what happened on LB's channel. I'm not trying to start drama here, but I am entitled to say my opinion, and I understand people aren't going to agree with me. It was her channel, so there was more. She really couldn't do much except for acknowledge the slur that was said. If you're new here, or if you haven't seen some of my videos where I talk, or live streams where I talk about stuff, my husband is Asian, so those kinds of racial slurs really hit home to me in a different way. So it bothered me. And then seeing the apology and some of the comments that were being responded to was really, in my opinion, excusing the behavior that was done. And I'm really disappointed and I'm really upset by it. So it's unfortunate because I kind of liked LB. I hadn't really had much of an experience with her, but I am really turned off by that scenario. So I have unfollowed her for now. So that's what that was. I never tried to start drama. That's why it really got to me. Typically, I don't subtweet. I think you guys can tell that. I hardly ever tweet at all unless I'm saying something or putting out a poll. But it really got to me to the point that I subtweeted it. Should have probably deleted it because a lot of people were asking questions. But that's what it is. The newer HD one is better. Maybe once I get through some of the foundations I have, I will try the Makeup Forever again. I have plenty of foundations I need to work through. Pathological. I could agree. It is my opinion that Katie is a pathological liar to the point that she believes the lies that she says. Hey, American Princess. It's a double-edged sword. Like everybody says, people should stop watching her and stop engaging. It's just that dumpster fire. Some people are just way too interested. They feel way too invested, depending on how much time they've been watching and how many behaviors that they've seen, how much they've been offended. It's going to be very, very hard for people to walk away voluntarily. You want to get a seat? Of course you do, Sue. You think Tati has her hands full with her own lawsuit and with all the drama on social media with the lawyers, you highly doubt she'll refile. I mean, it got to be a mess there for a minute, and I wasn't even following it. Hey, Joyce. Exactly. I agree. She does. I mean, Katie's kind of always, I think, been, I don't know if known's the right word, but people who have been critical of her have always acknowledged that she does like to threaten people. She's always said, even from like a year ago when I became aware of her, she would say, my attorneys reached out to you in DMs or we've tried to contact you. She's always kind of talked about having an attorney and that you needed to stop talking about her from a year ago. And I'm pretty sure the person, I think it was Red, who was receiving a lot of it back then. I may be wrong in that. My question is, where's Unirock in all of this? Like, I know they are no longer friends, but like, has he continued to like try and talk about Katie? Has he provided like his opinion from being someone who was literally fighting her battles for her? Has he talked about any of this at all, or has he just kind of left it for what it was? I know he talked about Katie in the sense of like she docs Creep Show and all of that stuff, but yeah, people really are getting sick of her antics. You don't use concealer. I don't use concealer most times. What I put under my eyes was the Becca Under Eye Corrector, Brightening Corrector. This is the only thing that I usually put under there aside from foundation. I had to think about it for a second. You did one video about Katie's relationship with her audience, but trying to keep, it is too much. Keeping up with her, you cannot cover other topics if you're wanting to be a creator who really does focus on her and wanting to break down the concerns that you have. It's like a full-time job. It really is, because she's on so many different platforms, saying different things and talking about different things and treating her audience differently on every platform. It's kind of like you have to be able to watch all of those. It's a mess. You stop watching people who constantly talk about her. Yeah. I've tried to always be sure since November, even though like recently I've done a couple of videos about her, I have personally tried to make sure that I was always incorporating a little bit of other content at the same time, because I don't want to become focused on just one person or one situation. No, Beauty Demon, LB did not use a racial slur. She had someone on her channel who did use a racial slur, and LB went and did a community post once it was brought to her attention, and I was iffy on the community post, and then when I saw some people saying things in the comments and how LB was responding to those comments, was trying to excuse the behavior that had happened, and it was a racial slur. There's no way around it. It was a racial slur. So excusing it doesn't do any good, in my opinion. Like, just acknowledging it, apologizing, and moving on. It's up to the creator. Once something, at least LB acknowledged it. Like, I'm grateful that she acknowledged it. I don't understand, and this was her choice. She's the creator. I don't understand why you would put up a community post acknowledging a racial slur is in the live and not take the live down, edit it out, and then re-upload it. I think eventually it got taken down, but that seems to like contradict itself, in my opinion, for you to have an apology about something and then let it sit up so people can become more offended. I didn't understand that, and that's just my personal opinion. You were raised not to let words hurt you. I understand some people don't let words hurt them, and I understand that. Like, terms can be said, but in the political climate that we are today, when it comes to racism, people are hyper focused on those kinds of terms, and rightfully so. So although it may not hurt you and you may not care, it can hurt and be very, very, very offensive to other people. And as a creator, that's kind of the responsibility that comes with it. And when you're having people on your channel, I appreciated the fact that LB acknowledged it. No, it's fine. I don't mind. I'm pretty transparent with you guys. If you have a question, I'm going to answer it. Yeah, Susan. I mean, it is what it is. She took a shot at Gabby Hanna today, saying she has ADHD, that she is self-medicating. Katie says that she is the example of ADHD being managed and medication correctly. I mean, you can have ADHD and not be medicated. I have ADHD. I have never been medicated because I can manage mine. I can cope with mine. Some people can't cope, and you need medication for that. But people need to stop putting out this stigma on medication that furthers the issue with people feeling that they have to be on medication. And in certain situations, it is required and it is necessary, but not all situations. But that's just how she is, thinking that she knows best and she knows all because she has it. I mean, that's just not how mental health works. Every person's mental health is individual. Every person's experience with their mental health is individual. Every person who has mental health is going to manifest in each person differently than the next. You can have two people side by side, same diagnosis, being treated the same exact way, and it worked for one person and not the other. That furthers mental health stigmas, and it's absolutely infuriating. Hey, American Princess, good to see you. YouTubers should be able to post as little as much as they want, including if they go against their own content and switch gears. Yeah, so you can share your channel. I don't mind. You guys know I don't mind if people share their channels in here. What brushes am I using? I'm using a little bit of everything. Unfortunately, most of these are Morphe brushes. This one, this white one is Jaclyn Hill. This one is, unfortunately, a Jeffree Star one. And this is a BH Cosmetics one. You've never heard KJ say sorry at all alone, but say I'm sorry, but I mean, some people don't know how to apologize. I think we've seen that time and time again, is people just saying sorry because they want the heat off of them and they don't want to be involved in any further controversy. They don't, when it comes to YouTube, they don't want videos made about them. So they will just say, I'm sorry. And they don't know what they're even apologizing for. It seems like I've come to notice that over the years. Creators will hop on and say, I'm sorry, but they're not even really sure what they're saying sorry for. It's kind of like they're just saying it because they know if they don't say sorry, they're going to lose subscribers, they're going to lose popularity. So they say it just to appease people. And it does work. Unfortunately, you know, it does work for some. I'm going to try and get all of my matte shadows down. So I'm going to go into the black a little bit. This is a really pigmented black, so we'll see. It may end up looking like I punched myself. Try and like bring it out a little bit. We'll see what we can do with this. Well, it's super pigmented, but it just became super blotchy when I tried to blend it out. You don't know why Katie tries to control who talks about her. I think it's her just trying to control the narrative. Unirock is on a conspiracy path with Katie. She says she and Tati drummed the whole thing up for views. Oh my gosh, is he doing that too? Who in their right mind would pay a top attorney like Salt's, pay those rates just to have a controversy on YouTube? Like, this didn't make Tati look any better. This didn't make Katie look any better. So why I don't understand how this could be a conspiracy. I do not understand. And I can conspirize with the next person. I don't know if that's a word, but I can run with conspiracies and like see different perspectives as good as the next person. But that one, I can't follow it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would either one of them, Katie or Tati, spend as much money as they have in attorney fees? Why? it hasn't made either one of them look any better or gain any popularity at all. Yeah, there's a lot of us who think that they're trying to settle away from refiling. And I think that way. I do think that that's going to happen. Uh-oh. I hate when my chat jumps. You can't edit a video in Creator Studio. She wouldn't even have. Yeah, you can edit a video in the Creator Studio. I don't know. You know, once I kind of knew a little bit about what was going on, I dipped out, and then I saw other people tweeting and talking about how long it was up and stuff like that. And that's really what is more disappointing to me. Yeah, I like EKC People Sucks too. I've watched a little bit of her content. I've been in a few of her lives. What I've seen, I've enjoyed. You've noticed it's mainly in America that people take meds for ADHD. I mean, that could be true. Some people really do need it for their ADHD. They really do. And I've met people like that. I understand why they do. Just for me, you know, I went a long time without really even knowing that I was ever diagnosed. So, I mean, I've kind of always coped with it. So I'm just trying to blend this out a little bit, and then I'm going to get a little cotton pad. And I'm going to clean this mess up. If I have any, I might have to use my little napkin that's here, or whatever this is, washcloth. When is YouTube going to go after fake copyright reporters? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, hooked on phonics. I don't know. I have my opinions, but again, I'm pretty sure my opinion is going to be thought to be hurtful or shady. So all I'm going to say is just let people know that that is what that tweet was about. Alrighty. So it's pretty smoky. Yeah, apology should include if. I agree. In your opinion, you know, I've kind of been interested and like intrigued by how Katie talks about having ADHD. It seems a little weird to me. I don't know if she thinks that if that is it, if that she thinks it's cool to have it. I don't know. But she does talk about it, and when she talks about it, it's always been a little bit off to me. Like, I always appreciate when a creator is open and honest with their communities about mental health, because it does often help break the stigma. But the times that she's talked about it, and I find her talking more about her medication than her having ADHD. And that's what's weird to me. I think this shade is kind of got a little bit of hard pan. I would often, if I didn't have these nails on, I would use my finger rather than a brush for a shade this metallic. But these nails are a little long, so I kind of can't use my fingers. Lisa, no, I am not getting ready to go out for tonight. I am just getting ready so I would have something to do while we chatted. Once this goes on and hop off of here, I will be taking it off. So I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes now too. You just got your Jeffree Star mystery box. You may not agree with his past actions, but I'm the one, not the one to judge. I'm not perfect. Yeah, I agree with you in the sense that I believe people can change. I'm not going to judge anybody for choosing to support whoever they want to support. Personally, he is someone I will not support because he has shown over the years he cannot change, in my opinion. But I don't fault anyone for having any of his products or still buying his products. It's your money. You've worked for it. If you want to buy those products, by all means, it's really no one else's place to judge. If you want to buy his stuff. If you like his brand, you like his cosmetics, and you can take the person away from the brand, I mean, those are your personal choices. There's nothing wrong with that. I've never really purchased any of his products before, so I don't have any relationship with his brand. I bought one of his sets of brushes from Morphe a long while ago because I needed new brushes, and I prefer when I buy brushes to buy them in the packs where you're getting multiple brushes and like a set of brushes rather than just individual ones. So, and usually I buy most of my brushes, which it doesn't seem like it because those are the ones that I gravitate towards. But all of my other brushes, aside from the pink ones, and some of these white ones are Jaclyn Hill, the rest are BH, and all of my black ones, which that's only a handful, are all Sephora brushes. I prefer the Sephora Pro brush line, but they're kind of pricey. Alrighty. Hey, Maximum Effort, good to see you. Oh no. Yeah, why would Tati need views when she hasn't posted in almost a year? I'm kind of curious if she's gonna come back to YouTube or not. Tati needs to grow up already too. Her and Katie both have issues, overgrown kids with too much money. I mean, Tati, everybody has had their faults for sure. Hey, Claire, good to see you. It's really odd how she talks about it and what meds she's on so often. I don't know if it's her way of trying to maybe break stigma. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's about the only benefit I could give her, is that maybe she's trying to break the stigma of medication and that's why she talks about it. I don't know. Only she could answer that question. So I'm going to use my IT Cosmetics foundation brush and my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter foundation. Victoria Beckham's makeup line. The problem is I am currently kind of on a slight no-buy situation, because I have way too much makeup and way too much product that I already don't use, that I don't need to add to my collection right now. So what mascara? I use the IT Cosmetics Lash Blowout mascara. You have no stereotypical Asian features. You have had several friends and neighbors make anti-Asian jokes and comments without knowing about my Asian heritage. It's disappointing. I don't, and I understand people make mistakes. I really do. For me, it's all about how you handle the mistakes. So, you can all live, learn, and grow. So I understand people can change, and to that, the only way for me to really accept the change is if I see it happen. The behavior changes. So I think I prefer to put that foundation on with a brush versus, a sponge rather than a brush. So I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty pressed powder to set this really quick. His cosmetics are amazing. You wish they weren't there. I've never used his cosmetics, to be honest. You only buy the mystery boxes. I mean, from his mystery boxes that I've seen in the past, like if you don't have a lot of his products, it seems like they probably are worth it if you like his brand. I've just never used his brand, and because of his problematic behavior, I won't. But that's just my choice. I'm not going to say you guys shouldn't buy his stuff either. I mean, that's your choice. Who am I to tell you guys how to spend your money? I can give you guys good recommendations, but that doesn't necessarily mean that because it works for me, it's going to work for you guys, you know? Trying to grab my bronzer, blush, and highlight. So I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs. I've had this for like 1.5 years, maybe 2 years, and there's barely a dent in it. So I've been trying to grab it a little bit more often. The problem with this one is just the slightest a bit too much for me, it looks orange. So I have to be pretty careful with this one. Almost every other bronzer I have, I don't have to be as aware. You bought the Lash Paradise because Britt recommended it. I've tried the Lash Paradise and I'm actually not a fan of it. And the primary reason I'm not a fan of it is because when I have bought it, I've bought it on like 2 different occasions. It dries out way too quickly for me. Each time I had it, it dried out within just a few weeks. And once it gets clumpy and dry, I really don't like it. But Britt kind of goes for a different eyelash look than I do. She likes to use a lot of coats of mascara. I have pretty long and maybe she does. I've never paid that close of attention to her eyelash length. But I have pretty long natural lashes. They're not like super thick by any means, but they're pretty long. So if I do 1 or 2 coats, because I have black eyeshadow on, you probably can't tell. But in person, they look like false lashes enough to me. If you can tell I have lashes, they look full. I've put false lashes on over these before. I've sat here and worked through it, and it really doesn't provide that much of a difference for me. But I also haven't tried like the big, huge, fluffy eyelashes before, so those would probably look different. You buy stuff on Mercari after mystery boxes launch. Yeah, Natalie, and that's kind of what you can do if you're in that situation and you have some people, if it's strangers, they don't have the guts, so to speak, to address behavior. But if it's somebody you know, whether you know them like extremely well or just well enough, if you hear them saying something that's super problematic and can be really hurtful to someone else. There's nothing wrong with trying to like say, hey, do you understand what that word means? Do you understand the value that that word carries? And explain it to them. I'm not saying people aren't ignorant and that they know what every term means. But if you know what it means, like you're kind of enabling that person to continue to harm others if you're not willing to educate them. Over the last year, I believe I have gotten quite a bit better at doing my eyebrows. I'm still not like the best at doing my eyebrows by any means. It's my least favorite thing to even try to do. But about a year ago, I would never even try to do my eyebrows. I would just leave them. I'm not going to put any setting spray on because I'm going to take this off, so I'm not going to set it. But I would. She has no reason to come back, especially with the other lawsuit. It would just be a shit show and defeat the purpose of her videos. Yeah, I mean, maybe once the lawsuit's over, I'm interested if she'll come back. I don't know. I haven't tried the new Fenty Beauty foundation. Are you talking about the one that's like in that weird shape packaging? I haven't tried that one. You weren't buying anymore, but you couldn't resist. I haven't seen any reviews on the new foundation. I haven't looked at them. I'd probably be interested in. I like most of Fenty products. I did not like their mascara, and I'm really not a big fan of her setting spray. That's the setting spray that I'm using right now. I'm not a huge fan of that. Her lipsticks, although I don't wear any, I love the lip glosses. I have those, and I have one of her, I've got one like cream lipstick and one of her liquid lipsticks. I've got this one, which is a little bit too deep for my, maybe I'll put it on. I don't. And then I got this one, which is more of a brown color. And because I don't wear lipsticks often, one, they tend to break out my lips, and two, I don't like the way that they feel, to be honest, but I'll put this one on. Hey, Mandy. You can't support him ethically. I mean, I understand people who can't and who can't. I get reasons why people do. Night, Heidi. Oh my goodness. Hey, Unveiling, good to see you. You've never tried false lashes before? Yeah, I have tried. I've tried a couple of different kinds, and I've been able to be successful very few times. And it's not that they took so long to do, it's that once I actually got them on, it didn't make enough of a difference to where I feel like I would want to learn how to put them on regularly. The brow product is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Taupe. I believe it's in Taupe. Yeah, this one's in Taupe. My natural, I think the camera helps out quite a bit with my natural brows looking amazing because I don't clip. I don't pluck or anything my natural eyelashes. So when you are eyebrows, so I do have like stray hairs down here. I'm not going to pluck it. I've tried plucking it before. It hurts way too much for me. And they're not that dark. I think that's why you guys probably think my eyebrows are okay, because the hairs aren't that dark. The new Fenty is like a blur tinted moisturizer. You don't want to bother. So I have the powder, and that's what I set my face with. I don't know if you've seen it. I did do back in like January, I think. I actually did like a review or a wear test or something like that of that foundation. And it did okay, but for me, it's better as a setting powder because it really doesn't provide a whole lot of, there's coverage, but there's not a lot of coverage in it. And it didn't feel cakey to me, and it doesn't feel cakey. Robert Welsh, I'll have to check. It's been a while since I've watched any makeup videos, to be honest. You think she will come back to YouTube? Who knows? We'll see. You use the Fenty contouring set? I didn't even know they had one. Oh, are you talking about the matchsticks? Or did she come out with powder ones? You prefer the glowy look? Yeah, I prefer matte looks. Like my face to be matte, I prefer it to be matte. I don't know why. So you guys can't laugh at my lipstick application because I never, ever wear lipstick. And I probably won't leave this on either. It's a good color. It's just, and it does dry down matte. It's just a little bit, it looks different. Thank you, Mandy. I appreciate the compliment. You just got some L'Oreal dual finish. TikTok was going crazy over and regretted it. Yeah, I'm careful about the TikTok trends because I see in the TikTok beauty community, from what I have seen, almost everything that is promoted seems to be PR or affiliates. That's kind of what I've noticed. So I'm very hesitant to fall into any of the TikTok makeup things, if that makes sense. You pluck, sneeze, pluck, sneeze. Yeah, I just can't. I can't. I've done it a couple of times and it just hurts. It hurts way too bad. And it's not, I've shown before, like I'm naturally blonde. So like you really don't see the hairs there unless you're like in person, then you can tell almost everybody's flaws a little bit more in person. So I will go ahead, I guess, and top this off with a brown little Hey, Sasha, I never know how to say your name. Speaking of which, I should be able to get all of the winners for the 3000K giveaway. I should be able to mail out your boxes at the end of this week. I will reach out to each one of you once I purchase once I ship them, I will send you the barcode for you to track it. I have to put your names on the cups, and then I have to seal them and do a couple of other things for the other prizes. So I'm hoping to have it done by the end of this week. If not, it'll have to be next week. You may have to try putting baby orange gel before you pluck. It's not that serious to me. I appreciate the tip. I really do. But for me, it's not. I'd rather not. Even if I could numb the area, I'd rather not. Hey, Nikki May, because chances are I would pluck more than I need to. I don't know if this camera will zoom in enough for you guys to actually see. See, you can see them a little bit. There's about 10 hairs that hang out on either eye. Not enough for me to go through the pain of, especially because you can see that in real life, but the camera does a pretty good job when I'm this far away from it. Thank you, Words Have Power. Have a good night. Oh, so you're talking? No, I'm probably am gonna make a video about that TikToker. I think it's important because of her behaviors and how they're escalating. It's escalating pretty badly. It does hurt that much to me. Thank you for the compliments. I don't know if I'm trying to think. I can say like the color my eyes come off on camera is not like how my eye color actually is. My eyes look a little bit darker on camera than what they do in real life. Hey, Tutu Queen. Yeah, thank you guys for the compliments. Unlike you, Sue, I actually like pineapple on my pizza, remember? I don't order it that way, but I will eat it that way. So beware of that. I'm going to put this back down. I leave my mirror underneath my desk. That way I have more room when I'm filming. Oh, now I lost the chat. Thank you guys for the compliments. I like how this eye look turned out. I don't know if this is one that I would wear I know for a fact this is not one I would wear regularly. Maybe if I was going out somewhere, going out for drinks or something like that, I would, but not for like daily stuff. Oh, where's Britt when you need her? She's ahead in time zone, so I'm pretty sure she's probably relaxing. I told you guys it wouldn't last long. I can't do lipstick. I can do lip gloss, but lipstick, whether it's the matte kind of lipstick or cream lipstick, I just don't like the way it feels on my lips. She passed last time. She said she was out. She's got a lot going on. I'm pretty sure she would care less about arguing with us about pineapple on pizza. Yeah, she does not like pineapple on pizza from what I remember. All right. So is there anything you guys want to chat about? Any questions you have? I'm probably going to end this here in just a few minutes. You love the roos. I know. Kangaroos are so cute. They're just they're scary to me. Like they're cute, but they're scary. Sue M posts videos of her kangaroos. She's in Australia, so when she goes on walks, she sometimes films them and takes pictures of them. So you see them on her Twitter, and sometimes she'll post a video on her YouTube channel. She's a whisperer. Maybe I will incorporate late night random lives occasionally, because I can tell you about 2 to 3 nights of the week I am up late. I honestly just didn't realize so many people were up this late. Yeah, kangaroos are scary to me. I think they're pretty though. Roos are like the Canadian elk. They will charge too. Aren't all elks a little bit territorial? You'll never forget the one video going around with a kangaroo who looked. Yeah, I know, right? Oh, it's Kelly where you are. You guys. So is it 8:48 where you're at, or am I off by an hour? You saw moose once. I've seen moose before. 9:48. Okay, so you guys are an hour behind me. 12:48. Yeah. I feel like for most areas, I'm like, there's like a 2-hour difference. 12:49. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, there's like a 2-hour difference from me. I know there's a few places, especially with the time change, that we're not so far apart. Night rarely care. You're in the geography is not my strong suit. You're in the future. It's Sunday afternoon. Weird to think the sun is still out in Hawaii. It does get kind of weird to think about whenever people are in like different parts of the world. It's just a little weird. Pacific Northwest. Not good with direction either. Direction and geography are like is like my worst area. And my husband's really good at geography. So we complement each other in that sense. My leg's stuck to the chair. The sun is up where you're at. Well, it's definitely not up here. It's almost 11 o'clock here. I'm probably going to head off at 11 so I can wash my makeup off and probably get some sleep. I don't know if we have plans for tomorrow or what is in store. It's summer there in December, right? I'm not sure who you're talking to Sue. Your husband calls you misdirection? I don't think I'm trying to remember. I don't think he's called me anything for having poor direction skills. With smartphones and GPS, I usually can get around pretty well. It's when it comes to like when he says states or things like that, especially like states in the middle of the US, I don't know where they're all at. Santa's on the beach in displays. That's interesting. It's just so different. You can't find your way out of a paper bag. I don't know if I'm quite that bad. I am bad in the sense of like remembering where states are and where countries are and continents. Like I get a fuzzy picture of it, but sometimes I flip them around. I'm not dyslexic, as far as I know. And I flip them around sometimes. And sometimes I forget, like when it comes to naming the states, I don't think I could. Not anymore. I know you used to have to be able to in school, and I know in school I could. But when it comes to driving directions, like if I have a GPS to follow, if I go to the same place once or twice, I will remember how to get there. And I won't need a GPS again. You want a warm Christmas? I mean, there's places stateside that have warm Christmases. You love geography, you used to have a shower curtain. We have 3 canvas type prints. I think we got them from Walmart a few years ago that have the world. So you would think maybe that would help me, but it doesn't. Google Maps is your friend when you drive. Yeah, I have to use Google Maps even though I have an iPhone. I cannot use the maps that come on the iPhone. I wish they would combine, because what I like about the maps on the iPhone is that it shows you the lights, like the intersections with, like, you guys probably know, I don't know why I'm trying to explain it so much, but it shows where the lights are. But I like Google Maps in the sense that Google Maps will say 50 yards, but it's showing on your map as you're going when you actually need to turn. And in my old job, when I was out in the field and going to people's homes, even though I was working in an area I knew fairly well, I didn't know which house to go to. And not all houses had like house numbers that were visible. So Google Maps would always be spot on accurate where the pin dropped, whereas Apple Maps would not. Apple Maps would also take me to weird routes and things like that. So I do not use Apple Maps at all. Google Maps is the only one that I use. Thomas Guidebooks, I don't even know what that is. Google Maps is super accurate. Yeah, the one that comes with the iPhone is not. I don't like the one that comes with the iPhone. Your husband's whole family is awful at directions. It's a thing. He tried to tell a guy how to get to a place down the street from us, and he told him the wrong way. I mean, I'm not that bad at directions. I'm just bad at remembering, like, geography as a whole. Some of you guys remember them. Apple Maps got you lost. Yeah, Apple Maps has gotten me lost a few too many times. It tells you where the cops are. Oh, what Waze does? I'm not that worried about it. When you live in an area or you're in an area enough, you kind of know where the cops are going to hide out. I think I'm going to end up taking, I can't remember how long. Let's see. These nails haven't been on that long from what I remember. I think I've only had them on for like a week, maybe a week and a half. But a few of them are starting to lift, and I start to pick at them, and that's what I am catching myself doing. Yeah, I did it. I think I did my nails last Sunday, which usually, like I said, usually I leave them on way longer than this, but I think I might actually. I think I may actually try to like pop them off. I don't know if it's not going to focus on me. I'm not flicking you guys off, but like there's some lifting happening right there. And it's kind of happening on a few of the fingers, and that's when it ends up being an issue for me. Once I start getting lifting, I will play with it. And then once one nail comes off, I have to take them all off. I remember MapQuest. I do remember those. I didn't drive when MapQuest was a thing, though. I could have, but I didn't start driving until I was 18. I hate it when someone says go north, south, east, or west. Just say turn right, for heaven's sake. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to know either, Susan. The only way now I would be able to know is because my vehicle tells me what direction I'm pointing. But if I didn't have that in my car, which I didn't have it in my previous vehicles, I would have to ask which way that is. Thank you, Shell. I appreciate the compliment. Your mom gives the worst directions. She'll tell you to turn right at the yellow house and then left at the funny-looking mailbox. I mean, if it's in an area that you know pretty well, I could see, or at least that the person giving the directions know really well, I could see them giving directions like that and not even realizing that the person you're telling them to doesn't know what weird box you're talking about. No, they're full cover gel tips. Acrylic, I've done an acrylic set once and it lasted forever and they looked really nice, but it took me like 2 days to do those. So I will really have to be in a good patient mindset to do another acrylic set. And I was going to, good night, Claire. The last set that I did before this, I was actually going to do a polygel set, but I tried to get one nail on and it just wasn't working. I don't like the dual forms I have, so I left it. And I just don't, I don't know. I'm probably not going to do an acrylic set for a while. Turn right at Walgreens. That's interesting. I never have the volume up on my GPS. My husband will drive with his volume on his GPS, but I will not. I don't like hearing the counting down to it. Oh, you have 50 feet and 20 feet. I don't like that. It bothers me because, and the reason that bothers me is because I have like no depth perception. I have no perception of distance. So like when it says you have 20 yards, I don't know how far 20 yards is. So it makes no sense to me to hear her say 20 yards or 50 yards or whatever she says. It doesn't make any sense for me to have that on because I just watch the line as I'm going. Whereas he actually has good perception and knows where that marker is. I'm also a very aggressive driver. Can you change the accent of the person talking on GPS? I'm pretty sure you can. Especially if you use your phone, your Google Maps, I'm pretty sure it's just whatever setting you put your Google Assistant lady on. That's the voice that comes through, I think. I might be wrong about that. Your GPS always ends up telling you to turn early. I don't listen to our GPS. And I will say my vehicle has its own GPS in it, and I don't like that GPS. I might need to update it or something, but it was way wrong. Luckily in Florida, like when I got this vehicle, I knew most of the places I was driving, I knew the area pretty well because I would know where I was going, but just to like play with my new car at the time, I would put it in the GPS and it would be way wrong or taking me down some very weird way that didn't make any sense. So I don't use my car GPS. I don't care if people are in the car with me. I am somebody who gets road rage, which is a good thing where we're at now. There's major interstates that you can utilize. Where I'm from in Florida, there's really only one highway. There's one main highway that connects, let's see, I'm trying to think of how many, man, it's pretty much the whole panhandle is pretty much linked by one highway. And there's a few like off branching highways to get you to different areas. But there's not a whole lot of interstate driving. You would like to change the voice on the GPS. Yeah, I don't know what the options are on. See if I can find my Google Maps. Well, I did that and then I realized I might accidentally end up. I would do that, but I don't want to accidentally dox myself, so I'm not going to. Hey, Susan, thank you for the compliment. Okay, well, when you're driving other people's kids, I understand that. That's a little bit different. If I have strangers in my vehicle, I won't curse. When I have strangers in my vehicle, I tend to be a little bit more cautious of a driver than if it's me or, me and my husband. Not that I'm a reckless driver. I'm just more defensive. I am somebody who speeds. But that's about all. I've been in one car accident and I was a child. I've never been in a car accident as the driver. I have accidentally hit a garbage can a time or two. With my side mirrors, I've done that, but that's it. I've never been in like any major car accidents. A lot of Americans don't realize the UK is 4 countries. I mean, I don't know all 4 countries, but I know that the UK is made up of different. Okay, I knew it was made up of different countries. I didn't know how many. That's when my geography is like not the best. Alrighty, guys. Well, I do think I'm gonna actually hop off of here. It's a little bit after 11. I think my husband has stopped playing his game and is just watching TV now. So I'm gonna hop off of here and go take my makeup off and probably try to lay down and go to bed. We'll see if that happens. If you guys are members, we will have our members only live stream tomorrow evening at 5:30 Mountain Time. And then Monday we'll have our open discussion on whatever topic is voted. So if you haven't weighed in on the poll, go check out the community tab and weigh in on the poll. And I will see you all on Monday. I hope you have a good rest of your evening or day, wherever you guys are. Bye.